9 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the walls. The chair is against the walls. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com. And welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern and talk about guns for about an hour, or however long it takes to talk about guns that night. So tonight we're going to be chatting about the guns, knives, and gear over at SHOT Show this year. I've been digging around and finding what's out there, and invited a bunch of people, pretty much everybody I know who's going to SHOT Show, and we'll see if they show up. I'll close out of all of this, and we'll begin checking out our Substack, which we've got links to in the description. And I'll just drop a link in here for everybody that's joining us live. We are live at midnight Eastern each weeknight. So thanks to the people that join us live. If you're listening in the future, of course, leave us some feedback, comment, or something. But G23 was the first one out here tonight. Thanks for that. Woods is here. Welcome. And that might be the only people joining us tonight. Oh, Snob is out there. Like I said, I invited a bunch of people who might be going to SHOT. It is a late night show, so we'll see who can jump in. But let's take a look at what kind of stuff is going to be, I guess, new at the show. So there's going to be a lot of stuff at the show. Certain stuff will be new. All right, I got it grouped up between AK stuff, pistols, revolvers, rifles, shotguns, which I didn't pay that much attention to, ammo, some patch news, and knives. So some of these are going to be growing, and some of them already have a bunch of stuff in there. After knives comes lights, and then gear, and then other stuff. Like I said, we're taking a look at this on our Substack. So it was a place that we could make the notes. It was easy enough to format and everything. I'm not sure if I'll put a link in the description here or not. Good link to this, and might as well just look at it over there. Anyway, so as far as the Kalashnikov stuff, I didn't find much of anything. And I don't know if that's a factor of the people that are paying attention to what's new at SHOT don't care about AKs, or there's nothing new about AKs this year. We'll see if anybody else jumps in, but otherwise you gotta listen to me drinking coffee. It is middle of the night after all, and it's super cold, so coffee accomplishes two things tonight. So if anybody is out there and knows something that I don't know, feel free to leave me some comments. And if you're listening in the future and you know something that I don't know about SHOT Show, leave me some feedback. So as far as Kalashnikovs, I watched a video from Arsenal. They basically didn't have much new coming out, but they'll be there. They talked about their booth being 13,244. Some people talking about the Palmetto State PSAK, and I don't know, is that new? We got the Pioneer Arms. Talked to them last year. I'll go talk to them again if they're in the same spot. Didn't get a very good interview last year because of I don't have good microphones, so I'm not good at making interviews. I'm okay at just pointing the camera at stuff and then narrating over it later, but got pretty bad audio. So I might try to get better audio this time. Let's see, we got the Glock 47 coming. So what's that, a new Glock with made for the Border Patrol or something like that? We've got the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0, 10 millimeter. And I thought there was something else from Smith. Did they do something in a metal frame? I don't know if that's new for SHOT Show or not. The Taurus TH10. Trying to remember what the TH10 was. I'm going to flip over to images to look at it. Oh, I guess I should have put Taurus in there. Oh, 10 millimeter. Oh, is my internet this slow? I guess so. Okay, then next up is the American Tactical FXH45, a polymer frame. Well, that thing took a long time to open. I guess this is it. So I guess the Taurus is the 10, means it's their 10 millimeter in the TH series. Then you got this BRG USA Elite. I don't remember which one this one is. Oh, is this one with the very low price point that's coming in from BRG USA? And then FN is going to have a high power that is new, and it's called High Power instead of HI. It's HIGH. And kind of varied reviews on that one out there. There's the Keltec P15. I think that's new. The CZ TS2. Chicago Mike's joining us. Good evening. So I don't know how many people have heard about all of these, what their reactions are. If we had a panel, they'd say stuff like, I'm looking forward to this one, or I've seen that one before. Woods is saying the CM. Oh, I think he's saying, hey, the Chicago Mike. So Canic has a couple of different paint jobs on guns now. So they have a Miami version in both the day and the night. But they've also got the Medi SFT. And is it the T that's new, or is it the SF part of that that's new? Then Rock Island has a Rock Island RIA 5.0, which is a high cap 1911. Oh no, it's a vehicle. There you go. I don't know what that one is, so don't remember that one. Then there's the Rock River Arms, which is the aluminum frame 9mm. Is that a 1911 body for the 9mm? Or no, this one is a this thing was that low bore axis one. Oh, no, I don't know what this one is. So this one is just some striker fire 9mm from Rock Island or Rock River. Then there's the Stoger STR9F. And I think their deal is they made it full size. Is that the F is the new part of that one? SAR USA, he's got a compact. So is their new thing that it's a compact? We'll get to shotguns here in a second, but I think I only have one shotgun on my list. I don't really pay attention to the shotguns. Let's see. Yep, the new compact. So I guess the compact is the new part of the SAR idea. The Gerson is a Witness 2311, and I believe that's a ICAP 1911. I wonder what all that. I guess that's some movie or something. Definitely doesn't come up. I'm gonna add Gerson to that search, I guess. No, it still doesn't come up. Maybe I spelled Gerson wrong. Let's see. Advantage Arms is not really a gun, but it is a conversion for firearms, pistols. I guess they have them for other things, but for pistols, they're going to have a Glock conversion that takes it to 22 long rifle with a different magazine and a different slide. But then it's this time it's the MOD optics ready, and I saw that Advantage Arms also has a bunch of 22 conversion kits for different platforms. All right, so next up is Bond Arms. Has quite a few things coming up. They've got a Roughneck Derringer, not Derringer, yeah, Derringer. That's in 380 ACP. That seems kind of cool. I don't know if that's new or not. I think it is. And they've also been posting some videos about emphasizing their rough line, and that might be the rough neck part of it. But they don't bother to finish to high polish or high value or waste a bunch of time, or I mean spend a bunch of time finishing off all the parts. Instead, they leave a kind of bead blasted look, and that lets the price down a bit. So they've got some they said they got some really inexpensive models now of their Bond Arms lines. And again, just the finish is different. Trailblazer has a suppressor ready version of the Life Card. G23 is saying he's looking for a 22 TCM conversion kit for the G23. I mean, they're probably not going to make it for the G23. They're going to make it for the G19, which is the same gun. So it's probably what you'll end up finding. Or else they'll call it G19/23/ whatever the other versions are. So H&K, Heckler and Koch, has got their own MP5 22 pistol now. So if you're looking for an actual H&K 22 pistol, that finally happened. I think that's new. Smart Guns will be there with their gun. I talked to them last year, you could say. Where's my mouse at? I think my computer froze up. Okay. So Shadow Systems has got an XR920. Come on. Which is also a pistol. We've got a Cabot has something called the Serenity. And Cabot is higher end, if I remember correctly. So I don't know where that one went. I'm putting it up there again. There it goes. So, you know, if you're interested in a fancy one. Oh, is this the one with the Damascus, acid etched Damascus? 1911. I think it's in, still it's in 45, I think. Is that new, I guess? I guess that's new. Let's see, we got American Precision Firearms has their Strike 1. So that one I thought was pretty interesting because that's pretty much the, what were they called? The something else arms last year. And not an inexpensive gun by any means, but this is super low bore axis and kind of an interesting kind of take on the pistol design. Oh, I guess I didn't have to close that. Got the Oracle Arms 2311. I'm not as familiar with this one. I guess I'll just take the whole thing in here. I think, is this the double stack 9mm 1911? Yeah, this is a 9mm 1911. And it's all double stack and stuff with a bunch of stuff going on. So I'm not as familiar with that one. Then there's the Anderson Kiger 9C. A bunch of people are looking forward to this. Anderson Manufacturing. Little looking gun. And then there's the Pincus's gun, the Avidity Arms. I don't know if that'll be at SHOT Show. I'm putting it in here because he's been talking about it a lot. I don't know if it'll actually be at SHOT anywhere. I doubt it has its own booth, but he might have it in a booth with somebody else. Maybe the manufacturer or something like that. But that's been getting some sneak peeks here. And then I'm putting this in here too. This is the Meta Tactical Apex conversion kit. And this is yet another conversion, like a carbine conversion, but this takes the pistol, puts it into the back of a bullpup, and turns it into a bullpup chassis. So it turns your pistol into a bullpup carbine. So kind of interesting. I hadn't seen that one before. So that's quite a few of the pistols that that I've seen that are either on the what they call the new product showcase over at SHOT, or people have leaked or have arrangements to get the word out. If you take a look around, you find something that's not on the list, let me know. We can add it to the list. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to see everything there, because not everything is going to be available. But and I'm not sure if Pink was able to join. He might be able to tell us how many of the things he's looking at on this list. Be curious to see how many of these are being checked out by how many people, right? So some of these will get checked out by a lot of people, I suspect, and others will be checked out by fewer people, right? And next we'll get into revolvers. So I'm putting the first one is this bullpup, I guess they're calling it, a bullpup 357. An interesting, like, shrouded 357 semi-automatic gun with a revolving cylinder in it. Then Rossi has the RP63 6-shot 357. Kind of looks interesting. So a lot of people hate revolvers, but having a 6-shot 357 isn't that bad. And depending on, see, I don't see any pictures of it here. Maybe I'll just say 63 and then Rossi. Depending on how big it is, I think I saw a picture of it. It didn't look that big. X-ray supply. So under $400, and I mean, if that's the size of a J-frame, I don't like everything about it, but it's interesting to get a small 6-shot 357 going. The Taurus has a Raging Hunter and 500 Magnum. I don't know if that's new or not, but the picture I saw of one looked interesting, so I'm going to check that out. I might check that out. They've also got an executive grade Judge. I don't know if that's new, but I saw that on the list. Heritage Arm has a Barkeep boot. So the Barkeep, I think, was the Heritage Arms 22 single action revolvers chopped down. And now the Barkeep is chopping another inch off of it and putting bird head grips on it to make it a ridiculously small little revolver. So I'm probably going to check that out. I'm sure a lot of people with Heritages would be interested in that. Next, we'll move on to rifles. And obviously, there's more revolvers probably, but I haven't found anything else that was, well, I might have seen a couple other things, but anything else that jumped off the page at me? Maybe I didn't put the right links in there. I should probably go check my email or something. Put the wrong link in, maybe. So then taking a look at some of the rifles. POF here in Arizona is doing a Tombstone 9mm lever action. So kind of a railed lever action rifle. It's a lever action with rails on it. Let's put it that way, in 9mm, and I think it might have a magazine. Then Palmetto State. No, let's go down to Flight Light Industries, the last one on this list, the model 2024. Another lever action, but that's a lever action AR-15. So uses 5.56 and the magazine from an AR-15. And that'll be pretty interesting. So two different lever actions going in different directions. And then you got the Palmetto State Jackal AR-15. JAKL AR-15. I don't know if this is new or not, but it's some sort of a hybrid between the AK and the AR, supposedly. Then Springfield has a 9mm version of their Saint. They call it the Saint Victor, I think. So that'll be a 9mm carbine. Smith & Wesson's got a 9mm PCC now for their MP15 collection. I think that's going to be new this year. Tactical Solutions has an XRT22 LR 1022 trigger. So this is a new trigger pack for the 1022. To be honest, there's a lot of trigger packs for 1022s. So, chest and those things, it's your interface with the gun. So sometimes it's not that it's better, it's just different. Sometimes it's not that it's different as much as it's just shaped different or something. Maybe sometimes they use different materials. Sometimes they're lighter and sometimes that affects things. So not sure what the deal is there, but might check that out, especially if they've got some kind of interesting way to experience it. Then another interesting piece of a 1022 or take on a 1022 is this Fletcher Rifle Works. All right, can I drink some more coffee? Fletcher Rifle Works. They're doing an open top version of a 1022 receiver. So 1022s are cool, but they've got some issues as far as cleaning them and taking them down. So this creates a slot on the top that can be open so you can adjust some of the internals and clean it and take it apart without having to disassemble the whole gun. Kind of interesting. I want to find out if that's a receiver, like if that's a serialized part or if that's something they do to it or what. Chiappa has a little Badger, so they took their little single shot and I've been yawning, like my fourth yawner. The little Badger, have the trouble with this show when it's at 10 because Arizona changes their time. Mike is saying that I'm yawning. This show's at 10 now because of the way Arizona doesn't change our time zone. So whenever the time zone changes or whenever daylight savings changes, this show will shift and I'll be at 9 p.m. instead of 10 p.m. So for 6 months, this show is at 10 p.m. and I fall asleep because I'm usually falling asleep, getting tired by 9. So if the show doesn't start till 10, I'm debating if I should take a nap. So there's been times when the show started late because I took a nap before the show and didn't get up quick enough. So yeah, I'm definitely yawning. I'm drinking some coffee, but it's not kicking in. Anyhow, the Badger is I think it's a single. It is a single shot, and it breaks down really small and folds up, so smaller than it used to. Pretty cool. Gonna check that out. I already mentioned the Flight Light is a lever action that's more like an AR-15 lower that's changed to lever action. Very interesting way to approach. Let's see if we can get a picture of that. Very interesting way to approach complying with laws that are designed to impede law-abiding gun owners' use of guns while not hearing criminals at all. So I think this is probably the best picture of it, where you can see it's very similar to an AR-15. The upper, I think, is an AR-15, but minus a charging handle, so it must not be the same. But very simple, I guess it can't be the same because there's no gas piston or nothing like that. So at least you get the same magazine and maybe a couple of manuals for operation. So that's revolvers. No, that's rifles. Next will be shotguns. And the only thing I got under shotguns is this Adrenaline Arms SPX 12. So I don't know if anybody's seen this thing, but it's a foldable pump shotgun, which I think is an answer to a question that nobody bothered to ask yet. But once you take a look at how awesome this is, you're going to go, what? Why didn't anybody ask this question yet? So it looks like they're in Ohio. And a picture of it here. There you go. So you can fold, the receiver turns into an AR-like receiver. How cool is that? Now this one's some kind of SBS. What's he just shooting it out the window? Damn, he just shoots it out the window. That one's some kind of SBS looking thing, but I'll take it as a pistol or as a firearm. How cool is that? So I can't wait to take a look at that. So that's a shotgun. I get credit for looking at a shotgun. Let's see. It's probably made in Turkey, right? Am I drinking the Black Rifle coffee? No, I don't drink anybody's coffee. I drink coffee from the dollar store. It's probably from Mexico. And I usually buy the one brand with the black top. I feel like there's more in there. The other one has like cinnamon or something in it. I don't like it. So, yeah, it's just the dollar store coffee with the black top on it. A couple scoops into some water, and then the rest of it is hot water. And then today I have a bunch of hemp milk in there, which isn't that good. Let's see, ammo. So this is Berna, probably. Berna Technologies. They have a non-lethal, less than lethal. They call it non-lethal. See, I'm talking about drinking coffee and I'm yawning more. They have a 12 gauge non-lethal that just looks cool, and I'm a big fan of non-lethal, so I'm gonna go over there and see if they got any ways. So it's always interesting to see how non-lethals display their stuff also. And I've never heard of Berna Technology, so I'll have to find them. We found patches. I was going through the list of stuff, and there's a company that's got some kind of finish in their rubber. So it looks like a regular rubber patch, but it also looks like metal. So I'm pretty sure that Alan Aker's done something like this, but this is applying it to the badges so that they get kind of a metal, like a rubber metal situation going on. So I'm gonna go check those out. And they may have some IR reflectivity or something in them, or I'm not sure. Let's see, the next one is knives. So there's some people I'm sure that are going to SHOT Show just for the knives. Actually, we've got a poll out there. I forgot about that. Let's go take a look at the poll real quick. I don't know, there's not that many people chatting tonight. Let's see how many people are polling it up. Well, we got some votes. So the best thing about SHOT Show, that was the question tonight. I put that out on the Instagram, put that out over here. That means people on the Twitter, I think, are listening in tonight, and people on both of the YouTube channels. So the best thing about SHOT Show, 50% of everybody is saying the guns. All right, that makes sense. 7% are saying the knives, lights, packs, and other gear. 14% are saying seeing products change each year. I was going to say seeing all the products change each year, but you can't type all that in there. And then the last one, which has got the second most amount of votes at 29% against 50, and also against 14, 29%. That's a lot of votes. Meeting with the industry each year. So that means, it sounds like a lot of people who go there, or maybe they value the feedback once people are there meeting up. All right, so the next one is Osco Knives. They've got something called the Solstice. honestly know nothing about it, but they put a lot of effort into getting everybody to know about it. So I'm gonna go look at it. Oh, Snob is saying he's got a Berna TCR, which is a fancy, well-made paintball gun that shoots pepper balls. Oh, really? TCR. So I guess that's their thing. It's just different types of non-lethals. They're probably from some country where that's where to make your money, right? Hillbilly Up, welcome. On Wednesday, he'll be taking over for Chris's show. Join in over there on Hillbilly's channel. Woods is saying he's got a shotgun just for less than lethal. So that's interesting. Is it yellow or orange or something? Or does it just look like a regular shotgun? All right, getting back to knives. We got the White River knife and tool. Come on, man. We got the White River knife and tool, which I've never heard of, and this thing called a Firecraft FCPKO. It's interesting to me because it looks kind of like a, what do you call it? I'm getting tired. What do you call these things? The ones I like so much. Moras. It looks like a Mora, and it's like blade shape and the way they cut it or grind it or whatever. But for some reason, it looks way stronger than a Mora, and it's got this circle thing and that hole in the back, which I'm not sure if I like it or I hate it, but it's there, and I want to see what it's like. And then it's got that circle dealy in the handle, and that is to run a stick for a bow or some kind of fire by friction type of situation. So essentially a pivot point in your handle so that you can use that knife instead of having to craft some other piece of wood or something. Also so that you get that nice bearing surface so all the heat gets applied to the other side of that stick. So I kind of dig that. And that's something that not very many knives bother with. And all it takes is taking a big fat drill bit and drilling through the grip handle material, and leaving that part of the grip like that. But anyway, I think that's cool. And I can't remember what they cost. I guess I could have. I didn't. But when I was going through all these, it is possible to, on a lot of them, to find out what the price is right away. So give me some feedback. Should I just put the prices on here? I didn't because I didn't want prices on the guns, obviously. Not for YouTube, at least. So I didn't bother putting prices on the other stuff. But some of the stuff, I was pretty impressed with how inexpensive it is. Let's see. So then the next one is TB Outdoors, a CAC French Army utility knife. And I've never heard of that one either, except for it looks like it uses an axis knife, axis lock, which I'm a big fan of. So I guess it's a French Army knife, which I've never heard of. I imagine it has some sort of wine opener. It's good for cutting cheeses. It's got a spoon on it. I'm not even kidding. It says right there's a spoon on it. So I'm just saying. Not the one that we're looking at, though. So anyway, just seemed like a pretty rugged knife. Oh, and it's also got this webbing cutter on the back. I'm a big fan of having those. A lot of places don't bother to put one on, but I think it could be pretty handy in a lot of circumstances. So I'm interested in looking at that one. Then We Knife. I know where they're at, so I'm going to look at them. They have something called the shake hand. So when you're shaking hands with somebody, you can jab them. I don't know what it is. So let's go take a look at it. Yeah, just another kind of simple knife, frame lock. Usually not a fan of frame locks, but I'm going to go check out the We Knives again. Then there's this X-Shear Trauma Shear. And, EMT shears, trauma shears, not that much ever happens with them until now. Take a look at these. I am digging that whole thing. Now, I don't think I've seen these before, and I obviously haven't been paying attention. But essentially, they're just a curve. Instead of being a weird L shape, they're more like a J shape. Instead of being a hard angle, which, it wasn't really, it was kind of an angle, but it wasn't 90 degree or nothing, maybe a 45 degree angle. Like whatever the normal angle is on most shears, this is just a boomerang looking curve. And I'm wondering, if that's effective or not. It might be useless. I'm guessing since they put them all together and made a business out of it that they're probably good. But I'm definitely interested. Hopefully they'll have some kind of webbing I can cut, because I'm thinking this either is going to work for webbing really good, or it's going to just kind of fold with the webbing and be useless. Again, I'm guessing they must work because they wouldn't have built a company if they don't work on something. But I'm curious to check those out. You don't see very much innovation in trauma shears. Then Buck Knives has the 664 Alpha Hunter. So a lot of people like Buck Knives, and this one is, actually I don't know which one it is. It is, I don't know which one it is. It's going to look like one of these because this is the Hunter line. I think it might be one of these, something like this. But I'm not sure, so I'll know when I get to SHOT Show. Streamlight. We're moving into lights now. Let's see. Oh, Snob is saying the Burnet is made in America, which is probably why they're kind of pricey, but well made. Oh, that's super cool. I'm definitely interested in that. Let's see. So then I'm going to take a look at lights, and I've carried a Streamlight before, and this looks like they've got a Streamlight 2 now, whatever they're calling it, ProTac 2. That is, I don't know about the rechargeable part. Maybe it's rechargeable also. But, oh yeah, I guess it's rechargeable by a USB battery pack. 2,000 lumens. One hand operation and variable intensity or strobe mode. I don't know about that. I didn't read that yet, but I don't like that idea. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this thing isn't the size of a AAA battery. But 2,000 lumens, so it's probably more like as fat as a 123 battery. In the picture that I saw, it looked like this, and I was like, wow, it's just a 123. It's a AAA battery, and it can go to 2,000 lumens. I'm sold. Now it says it uses a Streamlight lithium-ion rechargeable battery pack. So I'm going to have to check it out. I'm still going to check that out. And then Phoenix, a company a lot of people hate and a lot of people love, has a GL19 rechargeable pistol light. And I think the price point on that was just a few bucks. So I thought I'd check that out. It's like not that much. I forget what it costs, but not that much. Let's see. Then we got a bunch of gear here. Pretty much the end of the show. So first thing is this Viper binocular from Photonus, probably. And this is a range finding binocular, I believe. I don't have the model number in here, so I didn't. I'm not gonna find it. I don't think. Viper binocular. Yeah, it's not finding it because it's not on the market yet. But I'm pretty sure that's a range finding binocular. I'm curious to see how that works. Seymour has a tiny little CRC micro red dot. I don't know how many people like or dislike Seymour, but whenever I hear the discussions of other people talking about dots, I don't ever hear anybody talking about Seymour. And this one had a really small signature. It's made for the small pistols, I believe. So curious to check those out. At some point, they're going to have to start making micro red dots, right? So I'm not sure how new that is, but I'll be checking that out. Vortex has this Strike Eagle 3x18 by 44 fixed something or another rifle scope. I haven't really checked out the Vortexes, so I'll be checking those out. I don't know how many people run Vortexes on their stuff, but lots of different optics out there. SHOT Show gives you a pretty good opportunity to check them out. Most of the time, each optic is going to be on its own stock, so you can shoulder them and get the right eye relief, kind of get an idea of the weight. They almost never have a barrel, so that part of it is kind of off, but most of the optics don't weigh nothing. So you're not going to get much on balance, but you can definitely shoulder it and then take a look through it, check out reticles and check out kind of how bright they are and how clear they are and how that, all the different characteristics of it. So we'll be checking out Vortexes. Now, whether or not you can get good video of all of them kind of depends on the circumstances. But you usually can take a look, like let's say way up in the air across the building, and the place is large enough. At least the places I've looked, like Loophole and stuff, the place is large enough that you can really see quite a distance. Get an idea of their magnification, also the reticle and its contrast or its ability to be sharp at distance and that kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't know how many people are running Vortexes, but pretty popular brand lately. Gunsnob is saying that Seymour are supposed to be good dots. Aren't they one of the original pistol dots? That's what I thought. And I don't know about pistol dots, but I think they were one of the first. I know Seymour sights were one of the first quick sights, but I don't know if they were holographic. I think that was still EOTech, but I think Seymour did something more like just a piece of plastic with a dot in it or something, like a literally just a piece of plastic you look through. But I think it was that easy, and I think that worked. I might be off. I don't really have a history of the optics down. One of the things that is neat about SHOT Show, though, is you can ask people, what's the history of the company? Where do you guys fit in? Some of the companies have done some interesting things. Super Val created the hollow point, for crying out loud. Let's see. Chris from the 740 has done a video on the Seymour dots. Oh, okay. Thought Vortex was bought by SIG. Is that true? I didn't know that. That's interesting. I did not know that. Let's see. So next up is EOTech. I've shot through EOTechs a million times. I've never owned an EOTech that I'm aware of that I can remember. I don't think I've ever owned an EOTech or a clone. But this is a G43 and a G45 magnifiers. I'll check those out. Seymour used to be popular with the competition guys. And that's a good point. And the red dots or holographic optics or quick optics, whatever you want to say, like enhanced pistol sights, kind of have come and gone in popularity in the competition world for all different kinds of reasons. But then, yeah, coming into the CCW world or daily carry world is a whole other thing. And then coming back into like IDPA or something, coming out of IPSC and coming back into IDPA. Like, I don't know all the brands, if they're all the same or not. So next up is the Promethean LP1 red dot. Another one, I think that was like a $70 price point, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go check that out. And I didn't really do too much research on the accessories and stuff. These are mostly from the new product lineup or whatever it is. Promethean duty grade red dot 349. Oh, okay, guys, that's not the one I was thinking of. I got a lot of tabs open. American Precision Firearms has got the Core Mark III training too. What is the Core Mark III? Oh, you know what? I think that's pretty cool. If that's what I'm thinking of, that's some blocks, which I think you shoot at them, and you probably use like a laser bullet or something instead of a real bullet, and they're lasers. They're not lasers. You shoot at them with lasers. They are boxes. I guess I could try to find them. American Precision Firearms Core Mark III. I'm just going to close a heck of a lot of these windows already. They're not going to show it because it's too new. So it's essentially, let's get rid of the training tool. And let's get rid of the minus sign, which is never a good idea to have in a search. If you're trying to actually search for something. Nope, still didn't find it. If it's what I'm thinking of, it is... Well, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing because I don't know what I'm looking at in here. Oh, this is a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. But if it's what I'm thinking of, it's these little blocks, and it's sort of like a really interesting um, paper target. But since it's electric and you're shooting at it with lasers, it can change. So there's, let's say, the size of a Rubik's cube. I think that's the best way to describe it. So there's these cubes that are the size of a Rubik's cube, and one side of them is an LED sort of arrangement, and that LED light bright looking arrangement set can be a circle, it can be a square, it can be an arrow, it can be different colors. So you set these blocks down, and they probably, I'm assuming, learn where they are in relation to each other. It doesn't really matter, but they can point at each other, and it'll be like you got to follow the red, and the red will bounce between the different like cubes, or maybe the one cube will point an arrow, and that tells you which direction to point to shoot next. So it sounds like an interactive, or at least a more dynamic uh, laser fire situation where you've got these Rubik's Cube sized targets that you shoot at with your laser bullet out of your regular gun. And that gives you the chance to do a much more, like I say, dynamic, or like a more variable shooting routine, or probably a random, shooting pattern or something. So definitely interested in checking that out, American Precision Firearms. And that sounds like, since they do, it looks like a lot of barrels and stuff, that might be something that, if it's what I'm thinking of, it might be something that they brand. They have somebody came to them and it would work with their product, so they branded it. Getting there, almost at the end. 10.8 Video has an in-car webcam system. I'm curious to see. It's kind of like a dash cam for all around the vehicle. Interested in checking that out. There's a company that's got a headrest safe. I don't know if people have seen the commercials for it. I've seen the commercials for it on YouTube a few times already before a video. And I saw that they're going to be at SHOT Show, so I'm probably going to go check that thing out. Essentially, you change the headrest in your vehicle with their product, and it goes in there and it looks like a headrest, but really it's hollow. And inside the headrest is whatever you want to put in the safe. Now, I don't know if that is safe. I mean, headrests are made out of foam, so now you're going to have a big thing behind your head. So I don't know if it's how safe it is. But if you've got something like the back seat of a vehicle where nobody's going to sit in it hardly ever anyway, or like the middle seat somewhere where you've got a headrest that, again, nobody's hardly ever using, that might be the perfect way to hide something in plain sight, as they say. Then there's something called EarTune, electronic shooters plugs. And here's the thing. There's a lot of other automatic ear pro out there, but not very many of them have multicam on there. So these are multicam ear pro that go in your ear, and they just look like a mushroom is growing out of your ear. But the mushroom looks like it's made out of multicam, so I'm going to check that out. And then the last thing in the list is something called the Range Network, which has a lot of sounds like it has a lot of potential. It's a network of shooting ranges to facilitate things that shooting ranges would have, reason to collaborate on, instructors and practices and all different kinds of things. So definitely interested in that. Again, this is a show for the industry, and I'm curious to see if that's something that's going to start off and be big. And I want to get in on the ground floor of that, because something that ties a bunch of different shooting ranges together gives people maybe some incentive when they travel to go to shooting ranges, to travel with guns, or maybe have some kind of universal rental system or something. Like, it would be interesting. I'm curious to see where they want to take that. At this point, it looks like it's mostly in Texas, but everything's got to start somewhere. So that's the list that I've came up with. If you know something I'm missing or missing off the list, then let me know for sure. We still got a couple of days. I guess technically a week before SHOT Show starts, but technically days before it's kind of not possible to add things to any kind of itinerary or anything like that. I really was hoping people would jump in. I guess everybody's too busy tonight, or I sent a bad link. But maybe we'll do something like this going forward or later on in the week if some people want to chat about it. But if they're not interested in chatting about the new stuff at SHOT Show, we'll chat about it with the people in the comments. So some people have been chatting here live tonight. Thanks for that. If you're interested in asking a question or adding something to the list and you're listening in the future, just leave a comment wherever you find the video. Snub is saying the headrest safe is neat in theory, but I doubt it's that great in reality. For one, most people like their headrest to actually match their seats. Plus, they're kind of pricey. The headrests are part of the safety features of your car in newer cars. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's lots of, I forget the rule, but there's, all these like rules for them. What do they call them things? They're not high. What do they call them? Crash test dummies. When they stick them crash test dummies in there, that's one of the reasons they do that, to see what else going on with your head. So what's the law versus what you might want to have behind your head? You know what I'm saying? I don't think I really want to have my head hitting the safe necessarily. On the other hand, like I say, in that middle spot, on a lot of cars, they have that little seat in the middle, and they'll put a headrest on there so that people don't get whiplash or something. But if you don't have anybody sitting in there, then you could swap them out. But I hear what you're saying. And it's possible I haven't talked to them. Maybe it's possible to, maybe their safe is so small that you buy that safe and then you apply your headrest to it or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, those are good points. So with that, I guess I'll wrap it up. Nobody jumped in. Check out Hillbilly Up on Wednesday. Check out other shows that'll happen throughout the week. We'll be back here every weeknight at midnight, and we talk about guns. Thanks for joining in. If you want to join us live, join us over on the YouTube, midnight Eastern, whatever time that is in your time zone. And we'll be back tomorrow.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.